All right. Welcome, everybody, to this presentation of the KAGI League quarterfinals. KAGI is, of course... Oh, my camera is not working. For those of you in the background, if you just heard, that was Zach Armstrong, who is here with me today. Welcome, Zach.
Hello, happy to be here.
Uh,
Happy to be here.
yeah, super excited to be here talking about these two awesome decks that are going to be facing off in a best of three adaptive match. So, for those of you who don't know, KAGI is nicknamed Keyforge as Garfield intended, and that means it is bring whatever deck you want because it's adaptive and any deck can win an adaptive. And so, of course, people are bringing still really strong decks.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be the play still, for sure.
Yeah. But that being said, these are still, or at least one of these is a very, very tricky deck to play still. This is still going to be some really good adaptive games, I believe. And yeah, I think it should be pretty cool. So I'm excited to do this. We're a little bit short notice on getting this stream going, but these guys are excited to get their matches in. So bear with us as we just try to go through some of these things. And match should be starting in about less than 5 minutes now. So just leading up to the match, we've got JDG314 and Quixxle 3457. They always make a point that you got to get the numbers right. JDG went 5-0 in his pod, and I was actually in that pod, and I got absolutely annihilated by JDG. So very
Yes,
well
and the
earned.
game.
Go ahead.
Yes, and the game is up, by the way.
Yeah, I just saw that. So we'll pop over there. Whoops.
And longtime fans, especially if you pay attention to KAGI, longtime fans will know this is not my first time doing commentary on JDG piloting Chandra the Probably Complex. There was a while ago earlier in the pandemic in one of the official TCO tournaments when those were still happening that we did best of one adaptive with JDG. That was the first place I remember the community really seeing this deck shine. And I remember somebody excitedly coming into the stream saying, "You've got to go commentate JDG's next game, because they brought the most bonkers animator deck I've ever seen." And it's still going strong several years later.
Yeah, it's a really crazy deck. So I'm gonna get us going. I think we're gonna let them go on the game, but we can keep talking about these decks as they get started. But it is a crazy deck, and what's interesting about it is like there are certain things that stand out to you as the really strong stuff, but there's so much incremental value in the deck that you don't see. So like the first thing I see is Quixxle Stone, right? So depending on the matchup, Quixxle Stone could be just brutal. And then the exile can create those really big capture and then basically like steal plays if you just throw that amber across the board. But like some of the other things, and I think you were alluding to this, the animator just does some really, really gross stuff.
For sure.
You want to talk through that interaction a little bit?
Oh, sure. Animator, of course, having action, move an artifact to a flank of its controller's battle line for the remainder of the turn. It is a creature with 3 power that belongs to the active house. With all the other artifacts here, even using it just on his own, the Forge compiler and for a Quixxle Stone and transporter platform, there's just all sorts of tricks you can pull off with it, not the least of which, messing with your opponent's artifacts. So I am interested to see what the matchup looks like on the artifact side, with Hawk, Grasping Vines, and Rasnar
Yeah.
being in play here. Chandra definitely having plenty of outs, but VC Shea, piloted by Quixxle, definitely has a couple answers. Okay, so they have jumped in here. We have No chains on either deck.
Right, we're on game one, so this is basically just like our
Oh yes, not
our
right.
Archon game.
Sorry, used to the best of one. That's right. The
No
Archon
worries.
game straight
That
off.
would be it'd be interesting because even at this point, like I don't know, I can't wait to talk to these guys. So these guys have probably played each other in adaptive specifically multiple times. I don't
Yeah.
know if this is normally Quickdraw's adaptive deck or not. I know this is
Mm-hmm.
JDG's adaptive deck, but
Yeah.
considering that, I really wonder if Quickdraw brought this deck specifically expecting to go against Chandra.
It's possible. Quick draw on the draw with a lay of the land. JDD tossing down the Demo Alien and the Quixxle, and then the Quintrino Flux to get that steal off.
Yeah, and then a couple discards here. Discarding the Citizen Shrix, even with the Quixel Stone down, just doesn't want Quickdraw to have any creatures on the board, but bursting
That's
up to
right.
4.
And Quick Draw discarded Rustnar as well. And yeah, you're right. Both spoils have been played, discarding the Shrix. So a game of discarding with the Quixel Stone, saving the likely highly limited creature slots for something that's going to have a longer term impact.
Yeah, man, this is going to be
Because
such
as
an interesting matchup.
Yep.
I'm
Because
so
as
excited.
soon as you play a creature, you can't play another one until your opponent lets you, and that amount of control is pretty great. Oh, quick draw with the grasping vines and untamed, not a permanent solution, but not a bad one. Mimicry to copy spoils for just a bonus icon,
Yeah.
and that's the turn there.
So I mean, first off, just looking at these two decks, I know they got a lot going here, but these guys will play fast. I think I bet it slows down game 2, but
Probably
which one is
just
favored in a straight no creature match? Because I'm seeing a lot of value on Quickdraw's side here just from hand.
yes. So JDG just using pips got up to it looks like 7. It looks like, and then we've got the Ronnie to steal 1, trust no one to steal 1, and a subtle chain hitting a bouncing death quark. So, um, my goodness, I mean, so far they're neck and neck.
And
So
they're
far they're neck and neck.
blazing
Quick draw
too.
with the first key, yeah.
They're going so fast, but we do have the animator down, and the what is it? Grasping Vines is already gone, so we could see the Hawk hitting
That's
that.
right.
But again, like
Hawk
the
is the only
question,
thing left.
does Hawk hit that or the Quixel Stone? And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing that plays
So
into this, I feel like, is the encounter suit, right?
for sure, for
Quickdraw's got
sure.
the double encounter suit, which could get really hard to remove with the Quixel Stone down.
JDD got back up to check on a few pips with that animator coming down, and then quick draw blowing up Ronnie with a Quintrino Flux to drop the Sensor Chief Garcia, discarding Red Alert Commander Chain and Lieutenant Kirkar. So found that one piece to keep JDG off this key for now. There are 3 cards on the board. Okay, there are 4 cards on the board with the blast shielding.
Over
From
30 have been
JDG.
played so far, which is pretty crazy.
That's right. And JDD discarding another creature. We have a Reap with the Garcia over on Quick Draw's side. Red Alert and Helmsman Spears in the bin, which is the fate of most of the cards in this matchup.
Yeah, sad to see the
Straight to
Spears go, Spears go, because again, against Quixelstone, if that just sits on the board by itself, it could do a lot. Interesting interaction there with the blast shielding, because I believe JDG put that on Garcia, and the damage pip on there actually hits the armor on blast shielding because text is so confusing with pips. Right?
Yes, I believe so. It gets played, which means it's attached to Sensor Chief Garcia, which immediately gives it the 2 armor, and then you start doing those pips.
Yeah, and then any kind of player destroyed abilities, as we've seen with
That's right.
Rad Penny. Okay, so here we go. We got the animator just going for a Reap there, going up to 8. So trying to see if JDG can get past that Garcia for first key.
I'm gonna be an old Keyforge man, and somebody's gonna walk up to me, and "Did you ever see a Quixxle Stone Reap, youngin'? I have." And then all the kids will be scared.
I mean, so
But
my hope is that that's true, because I don't want Mass Mutation to be the best set for 4 more
Yes.
sets, which I don't
Yes,
think
for
it will
sure.
be. I mean, top end is going to be top end for a long time, but I think Winds of Exchange is going to like bully
I
a
think it's
lot
going to
of
have an answer.
these. It's going to bully a lot of these board decks off.
Yeah, the board flood, the crush. Yeah.
But that is not what JDG's deck is doing.
So, Encounter Suit has been discarded, by the way, after we had our first animator of the night with the Quixxle Stone back over to Quickdraw, discarding the Encounter Suit, reaping, and passing the turn.
So
So is
what?
that that's probably speaking to a need to blow up the Center Chief and use that slot on something else later?
But
Is
like,
my assumption.
what would it? I mean, Chain Gang, Manchego, Ronnie are basically the only other creatures I can see right now that I would rather have on board than Garcia, right?
Sure.
But maybe it's just trying to keep JDG, like having the outlet so that if JDG gets 2 creatures on board, you can kill your creature and they can't get any more on board. But I mean, we're already seeing the Exile play here.
Oh, there's the Exile play.
Just gross.
Ludo, the Amphora, turning its own draw into a capture. Chant of Hubris. So it so it ends up with an Exile. The Prefectus Ludo going over to JDG with 3 amber on it.
Yeah. And that's one of the crazy things with Amphora specifically is that even just the 1 amber pip on Exile can become a capture to go along with the Exile play there. Right. So even if it just gets so much value.
Quickdraw stealing the 1 amber, playing Subtle Chain hitting a detention coil and dropping a special delivery. Chain Gang itself going into the discard pile.
Yeah, and
so we have that purge possibility on that special delivery going forward here.
Detention Coil is slightly sad in a deck that's got Quixxle Stone. I think you much prefer the one that stops creatures from reaping, but still not the worst. Right. You can't kill your own creatures then if you're not able to fight with them. But he's already got that covered with the Explo Rover.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
That is an enhanced one. Yeah, with the Pip and the Draw, which of course both could be capture if needed. So not a bad hit.
Yeah. And we are starting to see just a little bit of a slowdown. Again, I think game 2 will be a lot more of a slowdown because, these are not easy decks to play. And that game, especially depending on how game 1 goes, that's kind of for all the marbles there. But I did just want to do a quick shout out. We got a lot of viewers in already. Welcome everybody, Fudginator, Dinobot. I know Dinobot was streaming right before us and he rated, so thank you so much for that. Fabulousing. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, so just let me know. And Fudginator, who's here. And Fudginator is the one who is running KAGI at the moment. Fighting Walloon, who is also in the chat, I believe started it. But Fudginator recently picking up the burden of running that and doing an awesome job and getting all of us together to do these streams and everything. So really excited to see all the coverage of this because I love adaptive. Yep. Okay, back into the game though. What's happening?
Yeah, JDG with a pretty straightforward turn got an Eclectic Inquiry off. It looks like. Yes, got an Eclectic Inquiry off there. BDQ to get rid of the Ludo and take that Amber. Finally getting a reap off of the Quixxle Stone, of course. Quick draw, pretty simple turn. Double unnatural selection. Nature's Call, and that was about it. Just a couple of Amber. JDG with the particle sweep, trying to ping Garcia to no avail and a bunch of discards. And really it's the game of playing your pips and biding your time right now.
Yeah. It's still, the encounter suit play to me is still really interesting because the Garcia is still there. So it's not like, and Quickdraw just played Nature's Call, so he had a chance to bounce the Garcia if he wanted to, and he didn't. So there's still the question of what, I guess, just keeping the option open in case there's a better reason. But we do have the really sad Quixxle Stone over there with 2 Amber captured on it now. Amber that Quickdraw will never get back.
That's right. Oh, thank you for pointing that out. Yes, the captured Amber on the artifact. A fantastic Chandra moment for sure.
Yeah. which is funny. I don't think so. Like I said, I got to play JDG in our pod, and he beat me 2-0. It was brutal. Like I thought I was a good adaptive player, and then I played JDG, and I felt like a clown. Um, but that stuff never really happened. I think we both ended up
Sure.
discarding the Quixxle
And
Stone.
speaking of Quixxle Stone, it
Yep.
has been hawked for an amber, and Avinda coming out newly free. That is check at 6 for quick draw.
Yep, check at 6. So, I mean, the Hawk does kind of count as getting like one of those amber back, almost. But you'd never be short of targets for Hawk in here. So, still sad to see that
That's
amber
right.
go, but probably not sad to see the Quixel Stone go.
Yes, agreed. And it was good timing since JDG did just flip and has a fresh deck. So that Quixel Stone is going to be in there for a while, maybe the remainder of the game.
It is true, but it's also a lot of Star Alliance in there. So, their deck is going to be fairly efficient going forward. Already down 4 Star Alliance.
Oh,
Oof,
sure.
another exile play though.
Yep, another exile play with a center cantina. Two, two amber on that one.
Nothing crazy, but taking quick draw off check, which is, you know, it is
Yep,
important. The one
for
thing I did
sure.
notice about JDG's deck when I was playing it is I actually ran out of creature control very quickly because it's basically just the 2 bouncing death quarks.
Oh,
I
sure.
guess there's the Quintrino Flux too. I think I just played it badly. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I made poor decisions. But I did have a big exile play. I think it was on, what was it? Galiotops, and I could not kill it like the rest of the game. And
Ah,
it definitely
sure,
hurt me. So,
sure. JDG getting to that check at 6, back over to quick draw. So turning the tables just by a few amber. I think a total of between the capture turned into soft steel, perhaps, and then gaining amber.
yeah.
Only a swing of 3, really. But once that senator dies, that'll go up to 5. And crucially, JDG is on check, presenting a tough question to quick draw here, depending
Yeah.
on what's in hand.
So, I mean, just looking at the deck list and stuff, he should have that Manchego. So there could be a Shadows play coming.
That's right.
Uh,
With 2 in the draw pile there. That's right.
do we have another Chain Gang too, or are those both gone? One's gone for sure. Could be another Chain Gang, and both Subtle Chains are gone though, so that Chain Gang wouldn't be doing a whole lot. So it might not be the
Sure.
most impactful Shadows play.
Right.
Ludo just out of range of getting pinged by that Avinda, even with a special delivery. So, yeah, this is probably a big question for Quick Draw whether he takes him off check or not. But going into
Ooh,
Untamed
Untamed.
means he's
Yes.
not, right? Unless he has. Now Mimicry's gone already.
Inca the Spider.
Stun the Ludo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, do we have a
Perhaps not
Ghost Talk?
the highest impact play of the game, but yeah, go Inca.
So, oh man, this is so interesting because I think we haven't seen Ghost Talk yet, right? So he could Ghost
That's
Talk
right.
to reap with the Garcia to stop the key, but that's going to exalt Garcia and Avinda. Oh, unless he bounces the
Oh,
Quintina, but that would give.
okay. Well, let's see what happens. But the Forge at 8 might be okay
Yeah.
because that takes that 2 amber away. That spends that 2 amber unnecessarily
Yeah.
as far as JDG is concerned.
Okay, so we do see the Ghost Talk.
Yes.
Again, unfortunately, that Avinda ping damage isn't really going to do anything. I feel like a random discard here would
Right.
not be. You wouldn't mind getting that, especially when JDG is on a hand of 7 already.
That's right.
Which I guess those are creatures you just bounce back, or one of those is the Quintina you just bounced, but still.
So Ludo stunned and hurt on the other side of the board here. Inca coming back down.
Stunned again.
Yes, yes, targeting that Prefectus Ludo. And showed JDG, it looks like We have a fittest, excellent, +1 across the board here. Yes, JDG will forge for 8, neutralizing that Quintina play from earlier and without any unnecessary exalts. So a lot of very, very tricky sequencing from Quickdraw here. Sometimes, when people just play Coda or AOA, they get the impression with Keyforge, it's, oh, you just pick a house, you just play whatever the best order is. But then a turn like this, this is what I would show them to say, no, you actually have to be really smart to sequence these things in the
Yeah.
right way. And sometimes there's multiple different goals you can achieve with a complicated sequencing call in one direction or the other. So very impressive by Quick Draw there.
Yeah.
It takes a good and clear mind in the middle of a competitive game to see that line.
Yeah, and JT, I think that's you, JT Russell, agrees in the chat saying that was a Quick Draw's a tricky guy. But even there, like one of the plays that he could have done is playing the Inca back down before using the Ghost Hawk to reap with Avinda, and then pinging your own Inca to get the random discard. Seems like he values building a board here more than that, which
sure.
I understand that. But that was also an option in there. So many different things you could have done there. Okay, we've got some capture happening on the secure droid. Probably going to be able to take quick drop back off check, which does hurt here. Really a little bit of loss of tempo. But like I said, the creature control, if Quick Draw is able to start removing JDG's creatures, those bouncing death quirks start not doing as much very quickly. So the board could get out of hand on Quick Draw's side, but am I missing something here? I thought he would be able to take him off check. Oh, he discards the Spoils of Battle. So it might just be the 1 pip off of the survey. Oh no, he had 2 pips. He decided to draw instead of capture. So he's got to have something else, right? Yeah, there we go. There's a detention coil. We'll see if he uses one of those to... Nope, gains an amber and draws a card. Maybe he doesn't want to stop the key because he's got the Forge compiler down and he's going to be getting more creatures on the board.
That might be it. Getting out that, yeah.
Nope, he's going to use the Demo Alien, the damage pip on there, which is interesting because warding that Demo Alien is actually really good. Those alien fight abilities are no joke. But goes for 2 more captures there off of the Demo Alien pips, just to...
For sure.
Force some fighting or creature removal out of Quick Draw.
Yeah, with a protected Ludo there.
Oh,
okay,
interesting.
Special delivery. Oh, okay. Special delivery, and then Avinda with the finisher, discarding Igor at random, that legacy enhanced Igor.
Yeah, not a discard you're sad to see at all for a Quick Draw.
No, that's... Yep, some good math there by Quick Draw.
And a subtle chain on the chain gang.
That's hitting the Quintina, readying, returning subtle chain to deck. No amber to steal.
Yeah. And we see there was a turn in there that he decided not to play Manchego when he was at the bottom of his deck. So he did miss out on the 2 steals there, but might have a chance to actually just get it back into deck here if he goes back into Shadows. But we'll see.
JDG with unstunning the Ludo chain to Hubris.
Is it unstun or is it a new Ludo? He killed the first Ludo, so this is a new Ludo.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a new Ludo. New Ludo, same top pocket.
And there is the Forge for Quick Draw and the Forge compiler going off on JDG's. But lots of ping damage and just some decent creature control over here in general. Because that Inca can also stun the Demo Alien. But we'll see what Quick Draw does. No amber to steal, so the Shadows turn maybe doesn't seem that good, even if you do have like another subtle chain in hand or something. But
yes, this is quite the standoff. 6 creatures on Quick Draw side, 2 keys. 3 creatures on JDG's side, 2 keys. 4 amber on JDG creatures, all warded with a Ludo. This is quite the standoff. This is like the 3rd phase of the anime battle where they're both all very bloodied up, but obviously still going to try to kill each other.
Yeah, they both have their last biggest tricks left. So we do see the Star Alliance play, which, so before I said the detention coil, not that important. turns out probably is important because that Garcia has
Yeah.
skirmish but can't fight now to remove one of those wards.
Yeah.
Ooh, and countersue
That's
on
right.
the chain gang. I like that.
Fantastic.
That's
Fantastic.
brutal.
Reaping with Garcia, moving the blast shielding over.
That chain gang is going to be a
Red
problem.
alert. Red alert to get the ward on the chain gang. Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. With the blast shielding, pop over. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that blast shielding is JDG's.
It is. It's been on
Garcia for a while.
yeah.
And then the cheeky red alert just to get that ward on chain gang. Very good.
Right.
Very good.
But without the transporter platform, I mean, JDG wouldn't be able to make as much use of that blast shielding anyways, but you can see there's so many pips in that Star Alliance that extra capture, which is, again, how we took him off check a couple turns ago, is pretty crucial. So not having that blast shielding in circulation could be a big deal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. JDG has selected House Logos, and I don't know where JDG lives, but I can actually hear the gears turning in his head from here as he calculates this next turn.
So I almost
coming down.
need to think through how the wording on Bouncing Deathcore, because I'm expecting us to see one of those right now, just to clear up some of this stuff. But does it have to actually destroy one of your own creatures, or can it just ping one of your wards and still repeat?
It can ping a ward and still repeat.
Okay, so that could be a pretty brutal turn here for JDG, wiping out a lot of this board. But we'll see if it actually comes out. Where you have Reap on Amphora, Infomorph coming down, Eclectic Inquiry to do some archiving. With only
opposition research, no reaping.
Just 3 of those in the deck, so that could be next
BDQ.
few turns. No more reaping.
There's a BDQ.
So at this point, do you go for the chain gang first? Because it'll take 2. I mean, you have the wards on all of your guys, so you can actually do a lot of pings here. Yeah, he does go for that.
Yeah, and it comes off the Secure Droid. Yep, Secure Droid, chain gang, there it is.
And blowing up that Secure Droid while Ludo is still on the board, getting rid of 4 Amber. Oh, that's brutal.
Exactly, and the chain gang.
And then this Demo Alien could steal if he decides to destroy that. And blowing up the Amber there. Yeah, this is...
There it is.
Oh, man.
Absolutely brutal turn.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal turn. Does JDG have another pip or trick?
Let's see.
In this Logo's turn to get to check.
I don't know that there's a lot of Amber pips in that Untamed. Yeah. Or in that Logos.
Yeah, that's
so
it. Stopping at 5. Still in a good spot, but not quite putting that pressure of check on Quixxle. Quixxle has a turn to try to respond here.
Yeah, but very brutal turn for Quixxle. That's never good to see 5 of your Amber that's been captured just blown up.
That's right.
And that's actually, it's more than that over the course of the game, because we did have the 2 that was on the Quixxle Stone as well. And he can't reap, so can't even put Manchego back into the deck because it dies fighting into Ludo.
That's right.
So really rough turn here for Quixxle.
Definitely in a corner. In a corner here, Quixxle.
What's really funny is I feel like JDG's deck is also very immune to mimicry. Like, what do you hit?
Yes.
There's nothing that spectacular over there in terms of...
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing that really is gonna change the game. There's not enough capture in Quixxle's deck really for an effective exile or an effective ancient power really. I mean, if Amber has ended up there some other way, maybe a spoils. I mean, Eclectic would be a solid choice. BDQ perhaps, but Quixxle is in Untamed, hits the regrowth. Chain Gang is back in the hand.
Okay.
Grasping Vines sends both artifacts up to the hand, Amphora and Animator.
Which is relevant, being 2 different houses. Those will take a while for JDG to get
That's right.
enough unclogged there. Not that either of them are bad, and they both do have pips on them, but um,
Ghost
ooh,
Hawk takes off the Ludo's ward, and Rustnar comes out for the first time, finally being played instead of discarded. So welcome back, little buddy.
see if he can actually do something right at the end here. I would almost be tempted to mimicry. Oh, he gets some eclectic.
Mimic,
Okay,
yeah, mimicry the eclectic.
I was gonna say
And
I'd
that's the
almost
turn.
be tempted to do BDQ just to get rid of that Ludo because we've seen how much Amber can just get destroyed by that Ludo being there.
That's right. Yeah.
And
That's
if
right.
that,
So much capture.
yeah, because the M4 could come back down now, that's going to drop hip, so we could see another Dino coming down with that, capturing more of this Amber. Which could either get, is Exile gone? Exile's gone, right? Yeah, it's in the discard.
Galatop's coming down. In-house Saurian for JDG. I have a soft spot for Galatops.
Do you?
You're not, yeah. You're not really looking for an an Archon standard deck with like 5 Galatops, but I can appreciate a good Galatops in my deck.
Yeah, it definitely serves some rules, especially if you have something like what's the one, Forum of Giants or whatever. Like people don't want to waste things fighting into it.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yep. I had a Galatops and a number of other things in a Alliance sealed mass mutation tournament, and Galatops helped make sure my Forum of Giants got me Amber the entire time. It was beautiful.
Nice.
I think I only lost the Forum of Giants check maybe twice in the entire like 8 rounds I played.
Yeah, it's a sneaky card for sure.
It is
Risky, very risky card, but
yes,
sneaky.
Yes, matchup dependent, I'd say.
Yeah.
So spoils, hedonistic intent, and a couple other things getting exalting and capturing all over the place here. Quickdraw has gone into shadows, stealing 1 with trust no one. So JDG is on check for that final key here. We've got double chain gang, Inky Gloom. Okay. Do we have?
Oh, we have a subtle.
There it is, a subtle chain. Yes, that's right. Opposition research going into the discard pile. That's going to take JDG down to 5, keeping him off check.
And reshuffle those chains.
That's right. That's right. Beautiful. Oh, amazing chain gang move here. A good draw and perfect timing by Quickdraw.
And making use of the May on Manchego to not shuffle it back in because that would be an auto loss.
auto loss right there. JDG right over into Logos. Quickdraw taking JDG off check and checking himself. And JDG right over into Logos. We know that animator's in hand. We'll just do a pip of damage though. See what else there is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lethalogica, was that with a draw pip? Wow. So he was at the end of his deck, and that drop hip lets him recycle his deck and then do the Lethalogica ability, which I think we knew. I was just looking at his discard. I think we knew he had the second BDQ in hand anyways. So this turn's going to hurt. Either way, probably 7 Ambers getting blown up at least.
That's right. That's right. And everything keeps getting captured onto that Galatops.
Let me see if I can add up how much Amber is getting blown up.
There it is. Oh no, and the BDQ is enhanced too.
Oh,
with a draw pip turned into a capture. Oh, that is painful.
But do you blow up the Ludo here? It does. So it gives 1 back, but hopefully removes.
Honestly, a good time to just totally reset the board. Check at 6, quick draws at 3. There's nothing on the board for anybody to play with. So even if it turns off a trust no one even.
I kind of want to go back and just see how much Amber has been destroyed this game, because I think it's something like 14.
It's way into the double digits, that's for sure. Quick draw into shadows.
So gotta be looking for Ronnie or something here. Does he have another trust no one maybe? Subtle chain.
Hitting spoils.
It's got the trust no one.
Yep. Oh my gosh. No. Trust no one steals 0 with no creatures in play. Yeah, needed any creature to survive. That's exactly right. JDG covering that out and it won him the game. Quixxle getting to 7 amber on the final turn there. Amazingly close game.
That was
Amazingly close game.
incredible.
Very well played by both players. That was some absolutely top tier Keyforge by both players there.
Wow, man.
So Quixxle being handed the deck, which just defeated him, and now he'll pilot it to try to take his own deck out against JDG. Now I am seeing where JDG can sometimes take a best of 3 adaptive match in 2 games, right? Because that was so close. And if Quixxle's not as good at Chandra as JDG is, even though they're teammates, Quixxle knows the deck, JDG might be able to defeat Chandra himself.
Yeah, it's gonna be an uphill battle for Quixxle.
It's one of the biggest flexes in Keyforge, especially when if your opponent's somebody as good at the game as Quixxle is.
Yeah.
I'm not counting him out yet, though.
But there's always, I mean, one, like I said, Quixxle has probably played against and probably even played with this deck at least a couple of times.
That's right.
And we saw a clinic just now on how to beat VC Shea with Chandra. It's all about those Ludos getting value on the captures. But I think the big thing that I want to see is what JDG targets with the artifact control. Because we saw
Survey. So Lay of the Land was also the turn 1 play for Quixxle last game.
But 2 Lay of the Lands this time for JDG. Because of course, just got to do everything better, faster, stronger.
That's right. Quixxle just with a survey on there. Player 1 turn 1 earlier. Quintrino Flux and Red Alert are in the can.
Yeah. So it'll be really important to see how quickly Quixxle can find some of those artifacts. Because I think if you can get a lot of them out fast, wow, not a bad start there.
Yeah, that was a looks like a 3-card turn. Shrix Spoils in Exile to steal, exalt, and toss it over. So as long as JDG doesn't get any kind of house cheating value off of that Shrix, that should be pretty safe.
He puts an encounter suit on it. Oh,
encounter suit on Red Alert. Or encounter suit, excuse me. And then discarding the Red Alert misplay, not getting... Okay, that could actually be a crucial...
Maybe, but Chandra doesn't have any way to like play a creature and fight with it, right? Like, Quixxle is going to play actions to ward it at some point.
Okay, Quixxle just did playing a survey, so didn't end up mattering. There wasn't any immediate answer to grab those 2.
And in one sense, he might not actually want it dead too fast because he doesn't want to go to 7. Ronnie is still very much live. Right. So keeping that just like banked amber on that Shrix for a while could be, a good plan for him.
That's right. Yep. Galatops being discarded with Quixxle's survey there, discarding Crewman Yorg. Continuing at 5 amber. JDG with the Inky Gloom.
It's fun to keep seeing creatures that you didn't even know were in either of these decks because so few were played last game.
That's right.
Where'd that Yorg come from?
Yep. Oh, and I realized the mechanics and flavor of Crewman Yorg the other day and how they're married, which I had not thought about. Crewman Yorg is traded as a thief, and Crewman Yorg is willing to steal as long as Crewman Yorg's morally upstanding coworkers are not nearby.
I like it.
I had not realized that until a few months ago. JDG with a Manchego and Bida and Chain Gang saw a strong Shadows line coming out here.
Yeah. Okay, so we do have a damage pip. Opts not to hit the ward off Shrix with that damage pip there. Does go to check, though.
Taking out the Chain Gang with the Particle Sweep and pip combo.
Does have the Destroyed Steel, but I mean, JDG doesn't have any Amber yet, so see what JDG does here. Could be a good chance to just shuffle in that Manchego. Not really any house stealing to ever be able to or house cheating to be able to use that Shrix ever, right?
Yeah.
I don't see anything in here.
That's true. And Quixxle had a good value turn there. 1 amber to get up to check and taking out a key creature on the other side.
I lied. Could be a Ghost Hawk. Ghost Hawk on that Shrix would be.
That's right.
Pretty mean. There it is.
Yep,
oh my gosh. Just has the answers. Oh. And shuffling back in that Manchego. That hurts. Well, we'll see if the Manchego goes in. It's doesn't go in. Manchego
No,
stays.
Manchego stays out.
Maybe he just knows that it's not going to die unless.
Yep.
Interesting. That's an interesting play.
Yep. We had a Grasping Vines unnatural selection played for the pips there.
I mean, Grasping Vines
Quick draw.
is something, right? Seeing that go.
Yep. Quick draw quickly into Logos. Lethalogica, which discards Munchling, takes that. Igor coming out. Love that enhanced Legacy Igor.
Yeah. It's not a card you're sad to see.
No.
Man, didn't
Quite a
notice
cool
this,
card.
but JDG got the check on that last turn too. That was a lot of
That's right.
burst because he was at 0 at the start of that turn.
Because that was 1 Reap, 2
Reap,
Reap,
steal.
and a Steal, and then a couple of pips. Unnatural Selection, Grasping Vines. Oh, and then the Fittest. Yep. So Reap for 2, Steal 1, 3 pips.
And of course, Quick Draw getting the bad draws.
Lamenting the draws. Publicly lamenting the draws.
Which, like... So again, when I played against JDG, I felt the same way. So I think the deck just likes him. Or something. I don't know what it is, but my draws felt so clunky with that deck. And he makes it work.
It's also, there's probably many little handcrafting decisions that go into playing Chandra perfectly that are just tough to get right.
So, for example,
tough to get right.
Not picking up the Amphora Captura with Igor. So he discarded Amphora and Secura Droid. So what do you think he grabbed with Igor if it wasn't one of those? Quixxle Stone? Do you think that's more important in this matchup?
I don't know. I don't know, but that's why the lament in chat, because Amphora is in the bin.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And that's huge.
It could be just for the sake of getting the Animator. Like, I could see him having both of those in hand, and I don't know if I value Animator more or less, but I'm going to ask him about that. I'm writing that one down.
Got to. We got an opposition research coming out. So the Forge compiler and animator, no forging. We did take, Quickdraw did take JDG off check here. Using the Dead Demo Aliens steal ability. So no keys yet. Quickdraw is at check at 8. So the tempo, the immediate tempo of that turn was not terrible, but the discarding of that Amphora is pretty big. Now, okay, 11 cards in the draw pile here. 2, 3. There actually should be mostly... There's going to be a lot of Saurian left on Quickdraw's side, so that back half of the deck might go quickly.
Yeah, I mean, still haven't seen...
Oh, Mimicry copying
the
Exile to give the Shrix back.
Oh, no. What? But it is still warded and encounter suited.
Traveler. This Shrix is a world traveler.
I love it. That's so great. But it's not dying anytime soon, right? With the encounter suit +1 power.
No, that's right. So
Quickdraw has the Forge compiler, so it could get a reward here.
That's right. Shrix can continue to live, and we'll see what happens. Quickdraw with the first key of the game.
I don't actually know about that play because now you're in check at 7. We just said Quickdraw probably has a lot of Saurian, and so going into Saurian here to probably check and capture, maybe get Ludo down. Could be it. It could be pretty hurt. Like that could hurt a lot. So it might actually be.
That's true. We'll have to watch how this plays out here. Citizen Shrix obviously very upset at the results of the election and switching sides like nobody's business.
We go for the Logos play though. Animator coming down just to use the Forge compiler to reap, getting some of that burst going. Just not at all afraid of the board state, or I mean, there could be a BDQ coming. We haven't seen either of those yet, right?
There it is. Yep. There is a BDQ.
What do you hit though? I mean, like, you're not terrified of this board. Maybe the A Vinda, so it can't ping the Ghost Hawk. But Manchego is not really doing a lot unless it gets shuffled back in.
Munchling and A Vinda are my educated guess on what the targets are going to be here.
Or do you pop the Forge compiler? That doesn't seem like a good choice, but
Oh, the ward on Shrix? Sure. As long as there's something else to get that
Let's see.
that ward back up.
Yeah, we
And
could
the
easily
Manchego,
have another opposition research coming too.
for sure.
Hmm.
Will Quickdraw restore that ward on the 4 power, 3 amber encounter suit citizen Shrix?
Well, he actually doesn't need to if he's going to let JDG forge here because the forge compiler will go off.
Good call. Very good call there.
But with the Munchling dead, yeah, doesn't really matter
Yep,
regardless. So
there it is.
so that's where I think so the forge
Good
compiler's going
economy
off
of
either
ward
way.
there.
Well,
Yep.
so he could have killed the Ghost Hawk too and just cleared the board, right? Because the forge compiler is going to go off for no effect. The Ghost Hawk can't reap, and you don't necessarily want to put it back in cycle, but ew.
Ooh, protected spears under Kirkar with encounter suits. That feels like a big moment.
And
That feels like a big moment.
one of our BDQs is now gone. There is still one left, but
That's right.
you're basically trading your Shrix for it without a Ludo down.
Yes.
So, I mean, honestly, at this point, if he's got the Ludos, I'd almost just fight the Shrix into Kirkar because that Hazardous will blow up the ward and then kill the Shrix, destroying the Amber. Just because you can't. Ooh, Hedonistic Intent. Okay.
There's the Ludo. Hedonistic Intent dumping some amber.
But nothing he's going to be able to do about that Spears here. So that could get gross real quick.
Yep. Chant of Hubris moving from Shrix to Kirkar.
Yep.
And yep, there's that play. Exactly that play you mentioned. Using the Hazardous to Quickdraw's advantage there.
Have we seen Garcia yet? No.
And that's a check at 7 for Quickdraw.
Yeah. Check at 7, but if that, like I just said, the Garcia is not in play yet, and that Spears should be able to find it pretty easily. So probably
That's very true. That's very true.
But what do you follow up here if you're quick draw? Like, what do you have left? There's one BDQ left. Quintrino Flux is gone. I don't know. It's getting dicey. You probably want to find more of those opposition researches just till you get
Just to buy that time.
enough bodies to be able to hit it with a BDQ. But definitely a scary position.
Yep, there's one opposition research left in the deck there. JDG thinking. Should have a couple answers left in the hand, perhaps, or at least in the deck.
Yeah, and we're
Spears
split.
available. Let's see, 5, 6.
You counting too?
9. Yeah. There's 3 Saurian cards left.
3 logos left. So actually probably looking at a lot of Star Alliance.
Okay, so yeah, 5 Star Alliance left.
Which is not ideal. Like, I don't know what those Star Alliances. I mean, maybe. Yeah, again, it's Detention Coil, not whatever. What's the one that stops you from reaping?
Detention Coil. Yep.
No, that stops you from fighting.
Oh, access denied. Excuse me. Access denied.
Yeah. There's none of that. So, I mean, it's going to be like Transporter Platform, Survey, like Sacro Alien.
Yeah. JDG with Untamed, Reaping with Ghost Hawk, Inca coming down, Nature's Call to bounce. Bouncing that Ludo.
And then reaping
and
with the Spears.
Ghost Hawk Spears. Very nice.
Oh, man.
And discarding Inca. Wow.
And discarding Garcia. And the Trust No One and a Chain Gang. So, okay. Regrowth the Chain Gang.
Regrowth Chain Gang, yep.
But Spears is no longer behind the taunt, which, not that, there's any creatures to fight at the moment.
Yeah,
but
and the Garcia did not come down and quick draw forged with 8 amber. I'm trying to think, was JDG digging for something that they didn't want that 2 amber to be taxed?
I don't know, because this is looking pretty.
Yeah, I have a question about.
Oh, there you go. That's 8. Holy cow! Just bursts up to 8. What got him the last two there?
Let's see.
Quixxle
Quixxle,
Stone.
Transporter, Detention Coil, Blast Shielding, blowing up the Kirkon.
Oh, because there's
with
the damage pip
on Blast Shielding.
Holy cow. Right. And we know Garcia's gone. So is Ronnie gone? Have we seen Ronnie yet? We know the Trust No One is gone because that got discarded.
We have not seen Ronnie.
And there's no enemy creatures anyways. We already saw that doesn't work, right?
Right, which that turns Trust No One completely off. So the Ronnie, it would need to be a Ronnie plus something else.
Oh no, because he's got friendly creatures in play.
Right. Yep, and no, with the Quixxle Stone out.
Oh, can't play the Ronnie.
Lock at the bottom.
Holy cow!
Can't play the Ronnie.
What? Did QuickDraw do it?
Ronnie. QuickDraw said it's okay. I killed one of my artifacts for you. So I think JDG playing out the turn like a good sports person here. QuickDraw with the win. Wow.
I love it. Going to game 3.
Very well played. Very well played.
But also,
absolutely amazing.
What do you do in the adaptive match here? Because they have to bid on Chandra.
Oh my gosh, that's
right. But
like,
it's such close games. This is.
Oh my gosh.
This is great. This is what we want, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean that.
What do you bet on Chandra? My goodness. What do you bet on Chandra?
The Igor play, so that's the one that we really questioned, right? Was the Igor discarding the Amphora, and it paid off.
Right. We just need to know. We need to know what he took because there wasn't that much opportunity for capture. So like the advantages that represented were not like, well, actually no, I guess Amphora turns everything into. There was still a strong Ludo play. So yeah, I want to know what was pitched there and what was. How bad QuickDraw felt when that happened. It still worked out. There were still lines. There were still good lines there.
JT Russell suggests it's probably complex what he chose, which is horrible wordplay on. I could if I was better at if I was a better streamer. We just gotta hope I don't get any spammers in chat. Okay, so we do have one chain already on Chandra.
Yep, always good. Now I don't expect either of these seasoned Keyforge competitors to mess up, but you do always want to bid in one chain increments to give your opponent a chance to mess up.
Well, when it's this close, right? I think if it's
when it's this close.
Oh, JDG bid six chains. To
put it on. Wow. To put it. Okay. So I do see the strategy there, right? I do see the strategy there with the putting QuickDraw right on the threshold of the -2 on the draw.
Right. But do you think it's a 6-chain disparity between these decks?
With JDG's brain, maybe.
That's fair. He'd rather have his own deck on 6 chains than JT Russell's. Okay. On QuickDraws.
We'll see though.
But wow, that's definitely higher than I expected this game to go. But starting off with an Igor is a good way to start when you're on 6 chains. So see what the discard is. Jorg and Opposition Research, neither one you're too worried about losing.
Yep.
Got Chan. Again, another creature that we never even saw the last 2 games.
That's right. Kirkar Chain and discarding an encounter suit.
Oh, and a huge Lethalogica, discarding Amphora, discarding Ancient Power, 2 more Opposition Researches.
Spoils up to an opposition, and there was already an Opposition Research in hand.
And we're blazing
everything up.
And this is again on 6 chains for Chandra. This is not good so far for QuickDraw.
JDG up to 4, QuickDraw back up to 1 after discarding Inca, Molfin, and Unnatural Selection. Playing that for an Amber. Quixxle Stone coming down. There it is. Detention Coil being discarded. 5 Amber for JDG. QuickDraw at 1 Amber. And plenty of creature options now that the Quixxle is out. Now, that was especially smart because so much got discarded off that Lethalogica and none of it was Quixxle Stone. So QuickDraw knew JDG was that much closer to Quixxle Stone.
But we do see the chain gang coming in here with the subtle chain, which hurts so much more when you're already on chains. So down to 4 card hand for JDG and tied Amber now.
So
Wow.
JDG going a turn just for BDQ, and that's it.
Just no
I
respect
respect
for,
it. No respect for Chain Gang.
or lots of respect, I guess,
Yeah.
depending on how you look at it.
Yes, taking the entire turn just to spend an entire bouncing Death Quark on Chain Gang, which is smart. Which is smart. You don't want that being the only between that's Amber Control and Hand Hate all in one. All in one. So we've got Quixxle Stone facing down Special Delivery, both competitors on 4 Amber apiece. We're already 4 turns in, way over halfway through JDG's deck. Quick Draw going into Untamed with another unnatural selection just for a pip.
So again, though, we had another encounter suit discard, and it happened a little bit ago, but so we kind of missed it. But I need to ask him what's the rationale
That's
behind
right.
that.
That was on the Kirkar and Chan turn. I think it was because it could survive a BDQ, and then if a Quixxle Stone dropped, they didn't want either of those to be the play.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like one of the things that JDG needs once he gets the Amphora going is ways to kill his own creatures. And
Yes.
Quick Draw having less of those to fight into, which I mean, he's not doing a ton of fighting, but it is an option. Like we've seen it happen multiple times now, even with the Shrix last game. But
JDG with another cheeky 1-card logos turn.
that animator though, if we get cycle through, I mean, again, the Amphora being gone is huge. Like animator's good, but it's a whole different story.
Spears was discarded off of the Lay of the Land just a turn ago. JDG reaping with the Quixxle Stone Eclectic to archive. Check at 6 for JDG's first key here.
But Quick Draw discarding the Helmsman Spears too, so just not playing any creature is going to see if he can just outrace just purely on pips or something here. Because that does basically shut down the Ludo play, right? If you can't play more than one creature, Ludo can't destroy your Amber.
That's right. That is likely. Let's make sure that's a question for Quick Draw as well, because that is likely the only reason you want to discard Helmsman Spears in a Quixxle matchup is to limit JDG to only one creature so that Ludo does not turn on. Now, speaking of Censor Chief Garcia coming down with a red alert.
Or just knowing this is the only creature you want on the board.
Sure.
But now, again, JDG can play 2 now. And he's chains are gone, so we're up to 6 card hands, and we do have a lot of Saurian left in deck, including Exile. Exile's still in there, Amphora's gone, but there's another spoils for sure, and 2 Ludos. So I mean, this could hurt fast, but you have to wonder, like, I'm gonna write this down, if JDG ever considers not playing Quixxle Stone in this matchup.
Sure. Oh, using up 1 Quixxle slot for Citizen Shrix, Exalting. Gonna get another, gonna capture an Amber on there with Spoils. Quick Draw's dry on Amber there, so not taking another one. Ludo, Hedonistic Intent, showering everybody in Amber. Chant, gonna move that from, I assume, from Ludo to Censor Chief. I assume.
Depends on what happens next, because if the Exile is coming, you might just put it on Shrix. But we might see what we saw last time with Mimicry. Let's see. Yeah, Mimicry is still in play, so we might just see the immediate Mimicry back. And now that we've seen that play.
Okay, it is on Censor Chief Garcia, and there is the Exile, so that's exactly the decision that was being made.
And 11 Amber for JDG here is
Exile in that 2 creatures versus 1 creature Quixxle Stone. Exile is brutal.
Yeah, so no more Rani, no more Chain Gangs, no more.
It is absolutely brutal. Just completely turns off creatures. While, oh my gosh, the value in that Exile play is insane. And JDG, of course, up to 11 Amber here. That's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, that was a very big play. That's going to be a tough to come back from for sure. Again, you might do. Problem is you can't kill the Ludo. Because you could do, like I said, the Mimicry to give the Shrix back, but you have to have a way to kill the Ludo. You might be able to bounce him, right? If you have, is there another Nature's Call? Is there 1 Nature's Call or 2? There's 2 Nature's Calls, so we still have 1 of those left. Oh, but the Mimicry is gone. I did miss that.
Right.
So, yeah, this is a tough option for a Quick Draw, because you could just reap with Garcia to attacks here, but you already just played Garcia and discarded Red Alert, so you can't have that much Star Alliance left.
Right. Yeah, looking at a quick count here.
Does still
That's
have Ghost Talk,
6,
so
7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's only 3. There's only out of half the deck. There's only 3 Star Alliance cards left. So the chances that that's half Quickdraw's hand are pretty low. So not sure if that's going to be worth the two amber.
yeah. Yeah, this has got to be a really tough decision for Quick Draw, and like probably thinking how you deal with this. This
And
is
right. And do we have the Hawk in hand? I imagine that we might have seen that already. That decision already if Hawk was in hand.
that's true.
Or are you picking whatever's going to cycle you the most cards to just dig for Hawk out of desperation?
And just go for it, because I mean, like he can set up a pretty big steal play after the Hawk is gone, right? With
Yes.
Ronnie, and then again, if we get to Manchego at that point as well, goes for the Grasping Vines and bounces both.
Discarding the Rustnar.
Oh wow,
Bouncing both to hand. Yep.
So
JDG forging at 6. Quixxle right back out.
Giving him more Amber Pips too by giving him the Quixxle Stone back.
Transporter survey up to 8 already. Discarding a Forge Compiler off of that survey.
So yeah, you have to have the Hawk here, right? If you don't, it's probably about game. Because I don't really know how else you come back from this. You just don't have the Amber control anywhere. I mean, you can, like I said, you can Ghost Talk to reap with actually both of those creatures now.
That's right.
So there could be a good.
Where have we spotted the Ghost Talk? Is it?
I don't think so.
Nope. Yeah. Ghost. Yeah, you're right. Ghost Talk's still online.
So like we saw last time, Ghost Talking with the Strix too to get that extra value, but.
Secure Droid on Ludo, discarding Sacro Alien. Check at 8. Quick draw right into Star Alliance. Interesting. Okay, so Lay of the Land is there. Okay, so with a Lay of the Land, that's keeping some tempo here to draw and rearrange. Figuring out what the next turn is, going to be able to tax.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of shadows that JDG is going to have to get through for that last key, because we still have a Chain Gang left. We have both Subtle Chains in the deck right now. Oh, Manchego is gone. That's right. But yeah, and
JDG's
then just
forging at the full 8.
Yeah. And we've got an Encounter Suit on Strix.
Back on Strix.
Oh, I love it.
Classic.
I wouldn't be surprised though if you just see JDG call Saurian fight here, right? Hasn't gone Saurian in a while. They just cycled, so I don't know what they have left, but
that would prevent that Ghost Hawk play later. Especially while that Encounter Suit has not yet triggered.
Which, judging from the way the ordering that Quick Draw did,
must have been picked up off the Lay of the Land.
Yeah.
Must have.
Just again, unfortunate for Quick Draw there.
Yep. Either that or Quick Draw's forehead is very red from the recent meeting of a palm. I suspect it was pulled off of the Lay of the Land, though.
Yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Goes Star Alliance, though. JDG decides not to go for the Ludo fight, just getting some pips working here.
Yeah, Demo Alien with a ping.
And the bounce off of the transporter platform for some draw as well. Not bad. I mean, it's not... Oh, man.
Yep, playing the Demo Alien again in the taunt pocket.
Doing more damage to the Strix. I don't know if they have... Is there another damage pip in Star Alliance, though?
There's a particle sweep. I don't know if there's another damage pip.
Because the particle sweep activates the ward, right?
Yep. Detention coil.
Okay, so...
yeah, actually, you're right.
Again, must have drawn the detention coil off of the draw pip. Otherwise, that would have been a much more gross transporter platform play.
Right, yeah.
Particle sweep hitting Garcia, and then the Quintrino flux killing everything except for the Strix.
Wow. Yep. Not quite on check, JDG, but getting up to 5 with Quixxle still only at 2 amber there. Quixxle has not been able to get much ground.
Yeah, and I gotta wonder what's even left in deck here. I mean, like I said, there's a decent amount of shadows, so we could see a lot of destroying the Shrix so that you can get extra steal off Ronnie. Pretty good heads up play there. We got the chain gang too with the subtle chain.
There it is. There it is. Wow.
Okay, so
wow, what a play of desperation.
Discards a second Ludo.
And discarding the Ludo. Discarding the Ludo.
And plays another Trust No One.
Stealing 1. Wow, check at 9. Good work, Quixxle. Good work.
It's good. But what do you have left if JDG goes back to check here?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, like, you had to do that play, right?
Enough.
But
yes, it was big. That was big. 7 amber up. Oh my gosh.
I mean, basically, Chain Gang has to survive, or what other amber control is in this deck?
So JDG back into Logos Eclectic Inquiry, archiving. Animator coming back down, pinging at
with 1 damage, does not get the check.
That's turn. Quixxle forging.
Oh my goodness.
In the pool. Right into shadows. No hesitation on Quixxle. Chain gang to steal.
And the subtle chain for the discard.
A cat jumping on my lap in the middle of all the excitement.
Inky Gloom, but we did have Ancient Power discard, so that's it's an Amber Pit, but we have another Trust No One.
Another Reap. Two powerful, huge shadows turns back to back here.
So again, early on in the game, we had the from JDG, we had the 1 Lethologica play that discarded like 9 cards.
Right, that's right, and we only have now flipped, or a few turns ago, I should say, recently. But oh my gosh, a Trust No One subtle chain, and of course, with the way this deck is designed, the double chain gang, double subtle chain. If you're shuffling them back into a deck, you're just going to redraw them. So
he's only
using that to the advantage here.
Is it just the 1 though, right? He doesn't have both of them shuffling, or does he? I think maybe you do have both. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chain gang in the discard, but I believe both subtle chains are.
Oh, because he was able to he didn't get to use both subtle chains last turn, but he was able to shuffle both in because he started out ready.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, and JDG going into a Logos turn, which I think means game is over, right? There's not really Amber control in that house without M4 Captura down.
Right.
Oh, but we're going to do some awesome plays with the transporter platform, bouncing the Igor back. I love it.
Amazing. 3 opposition researchers. BDQ. Is this the play out concession?
Oh, wow.
That is it. Quixxle with the win from the jaws of defeat with 2 absolutely bonkers shadows turns back to back there. Coming from behind. That was absolutely amazing play. We thought it was over for Quixxle. We thought there was no gas left in the tank. But Quixxle said, no, my blood is gas, and just went for it.
Right, because at one point he was down. He was at 1 key 2 amber to 2 keys 5 amber. And just came back.
Yes.
Wow.
Stole all of it, set up some great shadows turns there.
Oh, I love
Absolutely
it.
Amazing.
Okay, I need to figure out how to get them in here into our chat so that we can do some let's see. Oh, do they have to be friends? Should have had.
If they jump into the waiting room, we should be able to pull them in.
Okay.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, see if they are up for a quick interview. But yeah, those games were absolutely, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that oh, so good. Such good Keyforge. And you could tell like both players very, very confident in their decks, but also like I think you could tell like they've played this matchup probably before.
Sure.
I mean, we can ask them for sure, but I would expect.
Yep, fantastic plays from both of them.
Yeah. But that is JDG's first loss of the season. Like I said, he went 5-0,
Wow.
5-0 in our pod, which I mean,
All right, looks like we'll have quick draw for just a few minutes here at
yeah.
the end, which is fantastic. Our victor in the first round of the KAGI Top Cut.
Okay, he's in the waiting room now. So how do we bring him in? Oh, you got
it.
Welcome,
Hello.
Quixxle.
Hey, how are you guys?
Oh,
We're well. We're
good.
well.
I'm gonna.
First off, congratulations on that very big W.
Yeah, like
I'm still like working down the major sweaty rush right there.
Oh, of course. Did you? So the light at the end of the tunnel seemed to be fading fast at the most dramatic behind the eight ball moment of that last game, where you were stuck at 1 key 2 amber as JDG just continued a steady march on towards 2 keys 5 amber. What was going through your head while you were stuck at that spot waiting to get to that end game there?
To be honest, after the Saurian turn, when he had the Ludo, the Shrix, the Exile, all that,
yeah,
I thought it was over. I thought that was game.
Yeah. Mm.
I kind of like I didn't have I don't know, it wasn't a bad draw. It just felt like I did hit a couple 2/2/2s. I just didn't expect him to come on that fast
yeah,
with the 6 chains, and he had that huge turn, and I was just like, I can't believe that just happened.
Right.
And I just managed to get lucky to pull together the shadows. Like this deck can really just swing things in a hurry. It has like no scaling amber control, but that's really deceiving, honestly. Like
yeah.
you guys saw how much it could just swing in a single turn like that. So I guess I was just lucky that it came together in time. Like you saw, he was on check for 6 right there, and I had no answers left in my hand. So pretty lucky.
Yeah, well, I mean, even then, though, with the shadows, you had that opportunity to kill the Shrix to get the extra value with the Ronnie, so that you're not just taking him off check, but you're also advancing your game there too. Like that was huge, but very very cleanly played there. And again, like you said, just good you were able to have the chain gang to go with that, which that chain gang was gross.
The chain gangs, they add up fast. They're pretty crazy. And I knew his deck had pretty limited creature control, like no creature control in Saurian, and he had used his 2 bouncing Death Quarks early, and I think he had just used his Quintrino Flux, so I thought there's actually a decent chance here that he can't kill the chain gang unless he redrew a bouncing Death Quark, which he didn't do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What was so there was a point when you played, I believe it was Survey. No, was it Survey or Lay of the Land?
It was,
the point at which you
no, it was the Igor, wasn't it? Yeah.
Excuse me, the Igor. When you had to discard, when you had to discard the Amphora. What did you take instead of the Amphora?
Yeah.
I took the Animator.
Okay, that's what I guessed. But
and the reason was it had a damage pip, and I wanted to kind of get lucky. Like if I took the damage pip so I could kill my demo alien, which would steal one and take him off check, thinking maybe I can draw into like a couple spoils and like delay things for a bit. I didn't draw into anything good after that, but I'm actually shocked that I managed to come back in game 2 as well. Like I don't know, these games did not play out as I thought they would. I actually thought that VC is almost favored if it gets the draws in the right order. But Chandra is just a really insane deck, and JDG like I can't say enough good things about JDG and Chandra.
Of course.
And so like this is actually like I feel like I don't want him to take this the wrong way. I actually practiced this matchup because
I was gonna ask.
He plays Chandra a lot, and I was like, he's probably gonna play Chandra. And I tested a few different things on my own, which I never do. I never do self-testing like that. But I did it here because I, first of all, like, was pretty confident he was going to play Chandra, and second, I don't know how to put this. Like, if there's one player and one deck that I will never want to face in all of this game in any tournament, it is JDG playing Chandra, and I truthfully mean that. Like, I knew that I needed to do some kind of preparation if I was going to be able to beat that.
Out of sheer respect for the competitor.
I really mean that. You know, he's my teammate. He's a great guy. I love playing against him, and it's just like that deck is insane. And when he plays it, it's just nuts. Like I've seen him do some insane things with this deck. Like watching, other league games and things like that. It's really remarkable. I can't say enough good things about it.
And that's the thing I was commenting, because in game 2, there was a point where you were playing his deck and you're just like, these draws are terrible. And it's just like, I got to lose 2-0 to him earlier in the season. And I had the same thing where it's just like, how does he do so much with these draws that feel so clunky? But he just knows what he's doing with them.
He really does. Like I watch games when he plays it, and like this is one of my favorite things about watching teammates' games. Like Sloppy Lab Work, we watch each other's games a lot. Yeah. And there's so many times when you're watching someone and you're like, I have no idea why they just did that, and then like 4 turns later they win the game because of it, and you're like, how did he do that? Like, or she? Like, it's just And JDG is one of those players with this deck. It's just a lot of fun to watch.
That's one of the main reasons that prediction is never the point of commentary, because I know I'm watching these people who have played these amazing decks, because your deck obviously no slouch either. And so I'm sitting here, and if I question something, it's like, let's ask them later, because I'm not going to say that was a bad play. I just don't have my third eye tuned into this deck enough to see exactly what that line was.
I probably made some bad plays. What did you notice?
Well, so the big thing for me was, and this, I'm not saying this was a bad play, but I was just questioning for multiple games, is you kept discarding the encounter suits.
Oh yeah.
Is that from practice?
So I'll tell you guys a secret here. Don't tell anyone. Okay. And countersuit's really overrated in this deck. And it's kind of it's like a red herring, like this is even before you consider the Quixxle Stone, because the Quixxle Stone is the reason I discarded it here. I usually won't discard it for no reason, but the Quixxle Stone was the reason, because I knew I was going to need to eventually kill my creatures. I actually made a mistake in game, I think it was maybe it was this game, when I played the Expo Rover on Garcia, because I was like holding it, I was like, why wouldn't I play this? It's silly, right? Like, I should play this. And I played it, and I was like, oh, now I can't kill Garcia when I want. Yeah. And so it's kind of a similar thing with the encounter suit here in this matchup. But when you put the encounter suit on someone, the only creature I really love it on is Chain Gang. If it's on Spears or if it's on Garcia, I love watching them squirm to take it out, because I don't actually care that much.
Yeah, I kind of... So that's interesting. I looked at that a little bit, because there was a point in game 2 where JDG had an encounter suited Spears, and to me that is one of the most terrifying things I can see in any game. But I mean, obviously you didn't flinch, but also I started looking at the Star Alliance, and I was just like, you don't want to call Star Alliance like turn after turn that often in this deck, especially if you have the board, like, because you're not playing Quintrino, you're not playing Red Alert. The Lay of the Lands are nice, but
yeah, there's not a ton you want to discard. The Quixxle Stone makes it like more palatable to discard things, but normally, the Spears doesn't want to discard a ton in this deck. Everything's really good and has a very solid purpose in it. So I don't end up discarding very much with spears when I have her.
Yeah. Well, cool. So really quick, just obviously this is the first round of the quarterfinals. You made it into the top cut. Tell us just like a brief overview. Looks like you went 4-1 in your pod. How did the season go, and what are you like just thinking coming into the top cut?
So I played the first match of the season. I played my tried and true adaptive deck, Guadalupe, which is a Dark Tidings deck with Tide Warp, Mecha one of my favorite decks. Tons of fun. Lots of interesting artifacts and plays. Ended up losing that game, and I thought, I've played this one in previous seasons. I've done well with it. I'm gonna at least try something different from here out. And I ended up playing a Whirlpool deck for the rest of it,
Nice.
and went 3-0 with it. So yeah, I just wanted to mix it up, and I figure I'm in the Unfathomable pod this year, and so it made sense to just play some Whirlpool.
Excellent.
Yeah. But didn't go
Very
with that
nice.
this round. But how many?
No, I actually, if I can talk about that, why I didn't. I tested that matchup of the Whirlpool versus this, and it was the most unwinnable matchup I've ever seen in Keyforge in my entire life.
What, Whirlpool against Amphora?
Whirlpool against Quixxle Stone is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. If you haven't done it before, just do it. It's hilarious.
Right.
I also learned in testing that if you animate an artifact and put it on your right flank, it will go to the opponent before it becomes an artifact again.
What? Is that right?
Wow.
So I think it's actually correct. There's just so much like weird stuff with that matchup, but I was like, I'm not even going to go there. I thought literally the Whirlpool deck that I had brought, as long as Chandra got dealt with Quixxle Stone, it could have had 24 chains and still won. So I was like, I'm not bringing this. Just I didn't want it to come down to that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, it sounds like the hard work paid off. It finally this match turned you into a prepper.
It did. Well, I'm not gonna do it the rest of KAGI.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. This matchup was it's always fun to play your teammates. It definitely lightened the load in some ways. Like if I lost, it's like, well, it's JDG. It's cool. And, and then I root for JDG and not tonight, and it's cool. But this was like probably the toughest draw I could have gotten, and I guess I'm pleased to get it out of the way.
Yeah. Well, and there's always like, especially with adaptive, right? You could have prepped against Chandra, and he could have just thrown something else at you.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, VC Shea is a great deck, so probably goes to chains on VC Shea unless he brings something else that's crazy good. But like, it could have been a totally different dynamic there too.
For sure. That was my last like the final nail in the coffin for choosing VC, was because if he does choose something besides Chandra, at least I will probably win the first game and then get to choose to go first in game 3. And so I figured like that's not a bad backup plan.
Yeah. Well, cool. I don't know. Do you have any more else, Zach?
Just one final question. Looking at the bracket here, who are you rooting for between Algernon R and Mark H? Who do you want to face next round?
I honestly don't know. I don't actually play either of them very often, so I don't know their decks. I don't know them as players very well. I wouldn't say I'm rooting for either of them. Looking forward to watching it whenever it's streamed. I actually was really hoping it was today at 5 Eastern. They had to cancel. So looking forward to it, and looking forward to having a few days off to enjoy some of the other matches.
Yeah, of course. Well, congrats again on the win. It was enormously exciting to commentate that 3-game match, and it was a pleasure. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys. And thanks for covering it. I'm looking forward to watching the replay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you so much for this, and thank you everyone who came out to watch. I'm guessing most people watch this as a VOD later, and I believe, Fudginator, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to give all of these VODs to you to put up on the Swindled Dust Chronicles site. Is that correct? Because I want to direct people to the right place. I hope he's still on here.
Yep. So we can confirm that in all the various places.
Yeah. Yes, they'll be up on there. Okay, so yeah, go check those out when they get uploaded. Thank you again so much, Fudginator, for just organizing this whole thing, and especially pulling a bunch of people together for these streams. Like, I'm super excited to do it. I love getting to get on with Zach here and stream these, and man, what games to start with. Like, that was awesome.
Pulled me out of retirement.
We're trying.
Yeah. Ditto to that too. Thank you to Murph for running the whole thing and doing a great job of organizing to getting all the coverage we're going to have in the Top Cut.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you all so much. And we will hopefully see everybody on the next matchup whenever that comes in the next week. Be on the lookout. Have a great night, all.